for the PWHL, the first game on Long Island as New York welcomes Montreal to town at UBS Arena. Both teams are coming off tough losses their last time out, and with a short 24-game sprint of a season, they know that every win and every point matters. Welcome inside UBS Arena here on Long Island with Dave Starman. I'm Jamie Hirsch. We are dropping the puck on week 2 in the inaugural PWHL season. And Dave, the level of play we've seen so far across the league has been phenomenal.
You take a look at the elite players that are playing in this and the international experience they have, whether it be World Championships, Olympics, and some of the heroes of those tournaments are in this league. Early on, one thing you've noticed is a lot of offense. So if you're looking for goals and you're looking for chances, it's a pretty good league to be watching.
Absolutely. And with just the original 6 teams, we know that each team is stacked, loaded up with superstars, but perhaps the biggest star right now in the women's game is Marie-Philippe Poulin. This is your Players to Watch, brought to you by Woody Creek Distillers. I'm not surprised you picked her, Dave.
Oh, she is tremendous. And when you get to watch a true artist at work, this is what she is. She scored humongous goals in her career, a couple of game winners in the Olympics, including an overtime winner. And then you look on the New York side with Alex Carpenter. Her dad, Bobby Carpenter, was a tremendous player, and she has picked up a lot of what he had as a goal scorer. She's got a great knack for offense, tremendous speed, really understands the game, and she can score in multiple ways. She knows how to use the ice surface, whether the width or the length, in terms of getting open to find spots. She's got that release just like her dad did. It's really fun to watch. And then she's also really good at finding soft spots on the ice to get shots to the net quickly. So between her release and her hockey IQ, she brings a ton to the table and is always a threat to score.
A goal in back-to-back games. We'll see if she can make it 3 in a row tonight. We've got a special ceremonial puck drop as Hockey Hall of Famer Brian Trottier is here. The home of the Islanders welcomes the newest New York hockey team to town. Welcome back to UBS Arena. It's all about the future, right? Corrine Schroeder posting a shutout in the inaugural game of the PWHL, and Billie Jean King in the house. What a legend, Dave. And it is always exciting to see her. Her support of this league has been unmatched from day one.
It's amazing when you think about it. Not too far away, 25 miles or so, maybe less, is the Billie Jean King Tennis Center, and a great tribute to her and her career.
Fans cannot wait to see for themselves the excitement of the PWHL tonight. The other home opener, we'll call it, for New York, as they are now here at the home of the New York Islanders, who are welcoming them to town with Hockey Hall of Famer Brian Trottier here to drop the puck. Of course, an Isles legend himself. And this is always special. Great to see the New York teams rally around the newest kid on the block.
Absolutely, and you couldn't have asked for a better ambassador, the New York Islanders, and what they stood for back in the Dynasty days than a Hall of Famer like Brian Trottier, who certainly no stranger to the face-off dot. And, what a tremendous ambassador he has been for the game of hockey, and he was one of the great players ever to play this game.
6-time Stanley Cup champion. I mentioned the Hockey Hall of Famer, and the crowd is going wild for him. Let's send it down to the ice As the public address announcer will welcome this Isles legend here who wants to welcome the women to town.
And New York alternate captain Alex Carpenter. Thank you, Marie, Phillip, and Alex. And a very special thank you to Brian Trottier. Once again, let's hear it for Brian Trottier. At this time, we ask that you please rise if you're able and remove your hats for our national anthems. And here to perform "O Canada" and the Star Spangled Banner is recording artist Amy Rivard.
O Canada, terre de nos aïeux, ton front essaie de fleurons glorieux, car ton bras s'est porté les pays, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
How about a round of applause?
Beautiful job on the anthem. And a nice crowd gathering here at UBS Arena as the Long Island people get to, your people, Dave Starman. It's time for the game day rosters presented by Tim Hortons, and it looks like Montreal's playing a little bit short-handed. Laura Stacey out of the lineup tonight for precautionary reasons, and Sophie Bate did not travel. She also did not play in Game 2 and ended up being the hero in Game 1 for Montreal, so they're a bit short-handed.
There are probably, you'll watch Marie-Philippe Poulin, I guarantee you double shifting through a couple of lines as they go through.
As for New York, they're rolling out the same lineup they've had in the first 2 games. Worked really well in the first opening game against Toronto, a 4-0 win, and a tough 3-2 loss on Friday night.
Both teams talked to us earlier this week about wanting to defend better. And obviously that's going to help the goaltenders as they get settled into the season. Team defense always comes last. So the importance of real good goaltending early on in the season becomes even that more paramount.
We're also seeing a change in goal for Montreal. Elaine Chuli getting her first PWHL start, the 29-year-old from Waterford, Ontario. Backstopped the Toronto Six to an Isabel Cup title just last year in the PHF. The year before, she was named PHF Goaltender of the Year. And speaking of great goaltending, how about Corrine Schroeder? Just named the 3rd star of the week in the inaugural 3 Stars of the Week for the PWHL after posting a shutout on New Year's Day.
Now, Chuli saw New York in the preseason tournament that they held, the preseason scrimmages that they had. So some familiarity with her in terms of what New York brings. I think this game early on will be in 5th gear. It's going to be go, go, go. The excitement level, the intensity of the players, if it comes through the way the coaches talked to us earlier this week, you're talking about a track meet early until each team settles in and gets to its game.
Howie Draper saying defense was optional for his team in the preseason. He's hoping that they have refined their game defensively, and we're underway.
That is a hard thing for a coach to have to say.
Absolutely. Here comes Alex Carpenter streaking down the center of the ice, takes a shot short side, hit the side of the net. Now Eldridge with a chance, tried the center and just missed Peyton Levis. Levis tries to go down low for Carpenter. Now Carpenter taking it hard to the net. It bounces around and behind the net. Here's Levis. Goes to the top for Jamie Bourbonnais. She feeds it down low.
She's been dropping down early here in the offensive zone. 4th player underneath the circles.
Emma Woods tried a shot fresh on the ice, and the centering pass again just misses. Vanashova comes away with it for Montreal.
Great opening shift for New York. A couple of quality chances, and they certainly put their blue line on display, indicating a whole lot of dive downs as the night goes on.
Here's Leah Lum carrying in now for Montreal. Takes it behind the net and feeds the point. A quick shot from Laskova goes off the glass. They play on. Bujo lost the puck, had it stripped by Abby Rock. Back comes New York. Emma Woods stopping up momentarily, had it stripped. Claire Dalton on the ice for Montreal, takes a big hit by Emma Woods. The crowd getting involved early after that hit.
Physical play early in a game for a player is everything they want. You either want to get a bump on somebody or get bumped. It gets you into the game physically.
Elizabeth Shigera takes a shot, turned aside. New York buzzing early as the puck deflects up and into the netting.
Howie Draper is the coach of New York, spent a ton of time at the University of Alberta. And he played for the legendary Claire Drake. Now, when you think of great coaches, great college coaches, great pro coaches throughout North America, Claire Drake is in them. He's a Hockey Hall of Famer, longtime coach at the U of A. Face-off
win for New York. Centering pass, nobody was home, and it's a turnover as Montreal turns it the other direction. Laguerre will send it into the corner for Lafleur. And Marchment sends it around. Quick shot, intercepted, and Jay Downey-Landry will take it. Now Jill Saulnier back to Downey-Landry. Downey-Landry, nice little pass attempt, but it was picked off by Montreal.
Don't leave grade A's on the table, especially early in games. Those are situations where even if it's not a great shot, put a puck at the net.
Emma Shelton back on the ice for New York. A part of history as she scored the first ever PWHL goal on New Year's Day, and another chance turned aside by Chuli.
A lot of history that day. Seattle Kraken, outdoor game, first time for them. PWHL going.
And incredible viewership numbers. The reception of this new league has been incredible.
And no shot, 13K in Minnesota. I mean, that truly is, as you know, the state of hockey.
Blew the attendance record out of the water, an attendance record that had been set. As we take a quick look at Norcross, whose shot was deflected by Montreal. The women's attendance record was broken by Ottawa earlier in the week and then shattered by Minnesota.
Good week for Minnesota, too. They're going to get the World Juniors in 2026.
Great news from the state of hockey. A good chance in the slot. New York able to hold the zone momentarily. Johanna Fallman sends it down low. Jesse Eldridge giving chase, but Montreal is there. Nice job by Baker holding the zone for New York, keeping it alive as Alex Carpenter races for the puck. But back comes Vanashova. Vanashova in with speed, takes a shot, saved by Schroeder. Tempo early here, Starman.
And some cohesion on the New York team. Great track back by 25 in blue, Alex Carpenter. Defenseman blew a shoe at the blue line, but because Carpenter's coming back so hard, it maintained a 2-on-2. Didn't allow Montreal to get a good opportunity.
We heard the fans getting involved, loving the fact that there's women's hockey here on Long Island. Jamie Bourbonnais takes it away and sends it up ahead for Emma Woods. She plays for Chloe Orard. Orard had it stripped. Here's Erin Ambrose, the defenseman. She's in, looking for help. Feeds it into the corner and will retreat to the bench.
Really nice play by Ambrose. Came in without numbers, changed directions, went wide, allowed the cavalry to show up, and then put a puck down low below the goal line to create a race. It's good hockey IQ.
Here's Abby Robb taking it in with speed, takes it hard to the net, and takes a shot that's saved. Chuli looking strong early in her first PWHL start. Back and forth they go. Leah Lum will chase after it. Stops up and looks for a lane, goes down low. Now a centering pass, and Schroeder has to make a couple of stops. Plays in the side of the corner, and play continues. Now Marchment feeds the point for Lum. Lum going cross ice for Laskova. And a quick chance that goes just wide of the net. Cut off by Laskova, she'll take it in. Laskova tries the shot that's blocked down the way. Zone held in nicely there. Catherine Dubois, number 28, keep an eye on her as she becomes the first reserve player activated across the PWHL. And here she is, carrying in for Montreal. Makes a little move. Tried to take the shot, couldn't connect with it. Keeps it alive, and good stick work by New York. Now Daou from the point. Deflects on the way, a quick chance! And Catherine Dubois is stonewalled by Corrine Schroeder.
Real nice work by Montreal here, winning some races, getting the puck going high to low, or low to high, sorry, and then threw a screen to the front of the net, and they're able to capitalize on a big rebound as Catherine Dubois is Johnny on the spot to throw it in, an important save and hold by the goaltender. I really like what Montreal did there. Winning a race down low, they move it up high real quick, and then they went to the net to create that double screen with the tip, and they get a real good chance, their first real good grade A.
Fresh legs on the ice now for Montreal as they've made a change, and no surprise to see Marie-Philippe Poulin line up to take the faceoff. She's taken more faceoffs to this point than any player in the PWHL. And here's a chance. Jesse Eldridge down the front. She scores! Jesse Eldridge, with her first of the season, puts New York up early.
Oh, the former captain from Colgate makes a big-time play here. New York, a little trouble getting out of its own zone. As they start moving up, get another defenseman blows a shoe right here, and Eldridge just kept going. And that's the beauty of the play. You catch a wounded duck, put the burners on, little separation speed, and then go across the goaltender. If you're going to shoot across the goalie, you've got to make sure that the goaltender's cheating a little bit towards the short side, and Eldridge was able to line that up, get the shot up and over the blocker of Chuli for an early 1-0 lead.
Jessie Eldridge led all skaters with 6 points in the preseason. A member of that World Championship gold medal winning team for Team Canada back in 2022. And now she's got her first PWHL goal. The crowd getting involved once more. We love to hear it at UBS Arena as Chuli has to steer that aside as well. Now another centering chance. Savannah Norcross couldn't catch up to the pass. Chuli has to hold on. But New York up early, 1-0. A beauty of a goal from Jessie Eldridge has her team up first. PWHL is brought to you by Canadian Tire, Canada's store, and proud founding partner of the PWHL. Let's take another look at that opening goal.
Great burst of speed by Eldridge as she attacks the defense and she realizes that she's got an opportunity here. They're the burners, quick 1-2-3 step, and then comes in as the goaltender drifts deep and buries it. Eldridge was a Patty Kazmaier finalist in 2019.
Quick shot from the point that just goes wide of the net. Giguère shoves off O'Neill in the corner.
And the Patty Kazmaier, the best player in women's college hockey.
Plenty of those on the ice across the PWHL. Elizabeth Giguère is in for New York, taken away by O'Neill. Her pass cut off and a turnover here. Downey Landry trying to make the most of it, and her shot goes just wide.
Make passes like that all night, your goaltender is going to be really busy.
Elaine Chuli getting her first start in net for Montreal as Kristen O'Neill carries in for Montreal. Centering pass, tried to connect with Laskova. She lost an edge and slides into the boards. So here's a shot for Hobson, deflected on its way. We're giving Alex Carpenter and Ella Shelton assists on that goal by Eldridge, which means Carpenter now has a 3-game point streak. 4 points in 3 games.
She's just an electric player to watch. She really is so smart. I mean, she makes a ton happen because she outthinks a lot of players on the ice. So you got the skill level, which is #1, and then you combine it with the hockey sense that she has, and it just allows her to make plays that are hard to defend.
Katie Tabin with a stretch pass, in all alone, tries to poke it free, but couldn't catch up to the puck, and Schroeder calmly steers it aside. Great pass from Tabin. Here's Erin Ambrose joining their centering pass. Marie-Philippe Poulin with her first PWHL goal ties it at 1.
This was some shift for Montreal. I mean, they just dominated between the long pass and the opportunity, and then this little play here, great centering pass, and Poulin just puts her stick down, and gets a really, really good pass across from Erin Ambrose and converts it. Poulin just waited. And one of the keys here for what Poulin did was not going to the net too hard. You need to save a little space, and that's what she did. Veteran players are smart that way. So as Ambrose went wide, Poulin slowed her roll to the net to get her stick in position where she could not only receive the pass, but give a passing lane and then deposit it quick.
Widely known as the best women's hockey player in the world, she certainly showed it there. Not going to miss that kind of look very often. And in talking with Coach Corey Chevry this week, she said about coaching Poulin, it's easy. She sees it more as a partnership. Great chance here for New York. And what a save by Chuli. New York trying to answer quickly with Eldridge back on the ice. It comes out to the neutral zone. And going back to Poulin, Chevry said it's more of a partnership between her and some of the other veteran players like Poulin, almost a secondary coach.
Having her around is like having a coach on the ice, and I love when Chevry said that the beauty of Poulin is that she is bought in.
Here's Dubois, takes a shot, saved by Schroeder. Dubois has been noticeable tonight, trying to make a difference as the first reserve player to join a PWHL lineup. Savannah Norcross plays it back as Zafuto will now play it ahead. Cut off nicely by Daou.
Norcross, a fun player to watch. Watch a little bit of her on tape. She got speed, shoot the puck, creative, pass well. Just a really exciting player.
LaBelle across for Norcross. She goes cross ice. Back and forth they go. A big collision. We've got a player down and in obvious pain. It's Kristen O'Neill, slow to get up. She immediately grabbed her knee, and that was tough to watch, Dave.
It was just an accidental collision, and I'm not sure she saw it coming. And went down quick. You see it on the wall. 43 will come into your screen, and there's the accidental collision with her teammate. And you even heard it from up here. You heard the pop of the pads as the two collided. O'Neill is up.
Stick taps all around for her. We root for the health of all of the players. She is laboring to the bench. Certainly unfortunate to see, especially when you consider the fact that Montreal is already without two of its top players in Anne-Sophie Bataille, who did not travel with the team. And of course, Laura Stacey, one of their 3 goal scorers, or now 4 goal scorers to this point. She was held out tonight for precautionary reasons.
And O'Neill's an important piece to this puzzle too. A lot of experience. She played in the last 3 World Championships. Certainly understands big games. Another one of those settling influences. Talking about a player like Poulin, same thing with O'Neill.
Here she comes, Marie-Philippe Poulin, already a goal on the night, hands off to Vanashova. Driving hard toward the net, had it taken away. Jamie Bourbonnais, the responsible defensive party there. As Jesse Eldridge comes down. Alex Carpenter had it stripped by Montreal, and back comes Vanashova. Vanashova, cross ice from Maureen Murphy. Murphy tried the shot, it was blocked on the way. Now Vaskla follows it up, but New York is able to turn it up. They've got numbers if they hurry. The crowd cheering them on. Ella Shelton joining the rush. Now feeds the point. Baker takes a shot through traffic and goes wide. Elizabeth Jaguar holding in for New York, but only momentarily. Marie-Philippe Poulin with a stick on it. Just past the 11-minute mark here in the first period of what has already been such an entertaining game. Jade Downey-Landry with a shot that's gobbled up by Chuli.
Marie-Philippe Poulin, as advertised, fans want to see her score goals. And she gets her first one of the season, goes to the net, and she's not going to miss from there.
Tied at 1 here on Long Island. You're looking at Corey Chevry, the head coach for Montreal. She was an assistant and still is with Team Canada. Also has spent time with the Arizona Coyotes organization in the NHL, as well as the Pittsburgh Penguins as a guest coach. Said Mike Sullivan has been pretty instrumental in helping her learn a few things about coaching the game.
Mike Sullivan is just unbelievable. Listening to him in presentations and talking about the different aspects of coaching, mental, physical, he is really remarkable.
Jamie Bourbonnais with a shot that's paddled aside by Julie. Emma Woods feeds the point. That shot deflects up and into the netting.
So New York scored a goal by coming down the right wing side, right around the dot, and going high stick side on the goaltender to score. When you get some pay dirt one way, you might as well keep going to the well until it dries up on you. They try it again. And this time, Julie equals to the task.
Face-off won by New York. Bourbonnais with a drive that goes wide. Julie hangs on. New York actually scored. Now in all 3 games so far this season, they scored the first goal. It ended up in a 4-0 win on New Year's Day, and then Toronto ended up with a comeback win to beat New York 3-2 on Friday night.
Now, one of the things early on in the season, and coaches know this, cohesion becomes a big component. Getting players to understand about playing together, building some chemistry, building some familiarity, and that's when you can start to get into the more advanced concepts and work on things along the lines of building leads, extending leads, and then stamping your identity onto games. But that takes at least 8 or 9 games to be able to do as a team under live fire to get comfortable with.
Julie plays it from behind her own net. Cut off briefly by New York as Hobson plays it across. Johanna Fahlman will flip it in. And Julie decides to hang on.
Julie with not a lot of fear of holding on to pucks, and here's another component when you're talking about building early on in a season, and that is trusting your centerman to win faceoffs. As a goaltender, if you don't really trust your centers, you might want to try to keep pucks moving, but if you do, then you'll allow some set pieces to start. And there's another faceoff win by Montreal.
Yes,
good.
Her center, Kristen O'Neill, who was shaken up earlier. Good to see her back on the ice and winning a faceoff. Bujo battling for it from her knees, able to get it around the boards, back to O'Neill. She feeds the point for Lagunière. Down low for O'Neill again. Crunched along the boards by Brooke Hobson. The physicality of this game is something the players and the league fought for, and fans are loving it, as are the players. Pat save by Schroeder.
You know what I love this league? Remember Kelly Stevens when she played at the University of Minnesota? She's a star there in the OOs. She was as physical a player as I've ever seen in the women's game.
Jay Downey-Landry makes a move and just shoots it wide. Downey-Landry was noticeable in game 2 on Friday night. Another chance from the slot, gloved nicely by Julie. What a chance for Elizabeth Giguère.
New York with some good work on the walls, and they are finding some soft spots up top to get it. So here they want to battle in the neutral zone, little shoe pull right there, and they managed to recover. Quick delivery to the net, and then they just keep going. And I've really been impressed with New York's ability to be first on pucks in the offensive zone.
Another D-zone face-off win for Montreal. Here comes Montreal. Marchment, and a nice defensive play by Zafuto, but we get a whistle.
And that's a good call. It's an interference, and that was bang on. And Montreal will go to the power play, and both of these teams are actually looking for their first power play goal of the season. And one thing we'll remind the fans, and this is about the coolest rule I've seen in a long time. If you score shorthanded, penalty's over.
It is a true penalty kill, if you will. And in talking to a lot of players, even around the NHL, they said, I wish the NHL would adopt this kind of rule.
I got news for you. I will be buzzing that concept around the NCAA
yes,
as the rest of this season goes on. I think it's a cool rule.
Changes the excitement, adds to it. Trying to make more offenses. Aaron Ambrose lost the handle on it. Gets it back. Sends it across for Poulin. Poulin, cross-ice pass, takes a shot just wide of the net. They battle on as Ella Shelton will send it over to Jamie Bourbonnais. Vanashova taken down. And the puck comes all the way back to the Montreal zone. Probably changes the personnel that the coaches go with too. You want your stars on a penalty kill, because if they score, it's over.
It's a good point, because most coaches are going to be along the lines of, if you're on the power play, maybe they'll use somebody else on the PK, spread out ice time, save energy as games are going on.
Murphy from behind the net feeds the point for Ambrose. Across for Poulin, lost it for a moment, able to get it back and feeds it down low. Around the boards, Ellis Shelton gets there first. And Alex Carpenter will send it the length of the ice before going for a change.
And still early in seasons, you're seeing coaches experimenting and tinkering with personnel and where they play.
Poulin caught up with the floor. She lost an edge. Schroeder calmly hands it off to her teammate. Laskova enters the zone briefly for Montreal. Good penalty kill so far for New York. Now cut off here. It's Hobson. Right down Broadway, hands it off. Collided into by Laskova. 20 seconds remain on the Montreal power play, but they're in offside.
And we're going to get a penalty, and I think it's going to be on New York, and I think it's going to be for roughing. And it happened in the neutral zone. It was right in front of the official, and Saulnier is going to get the game. So Montreal, for about 17 seconds, will have a 5-on-3, and Corey Chevery now with a real good situation. As she loads up here, she will send out a left-hand shot on the draw in Poulin, and you'd have to think she's going to try to draw it back right to the wall to where Maureen Murphy is.
New York able to win that draw, and Ellis Shelton rings it around the boards. An important clear for New York as time winds down on the 5-on-3.
I like the thought process. I like where Poulin was going to go with it, because Murphy, you could just see that her engine was started and ready.
Here comes Poulin streaking down the left side, makes a move, passes it off, and it's saved by Schroeder. The crowd letting her hear it. As Ambrose tries to hit a body in front, they jam away at it, and Schroeder able to hang on.
Schroeder with a really nice seal of the low ice to prevent that rebound from coming in. She seals from the bottom up, pads are together, stick is down. I think it's the glove on there quick. And one of the most important parts of goaltending in tight is building the wall from the ice up. And she did a great job of it in tight.
Poulin tried to win the draw over to Vanashova. Now a battle along the boards as precious seconds tick away, and another clear by Emma Woods.
It's a different kind of one-timer setup than you're used to seeing, but right, it works.
It works. Just over a minute here on the second power play for Montreal. Poulin will carry in, makes a move, and had it nicely turned aside by Woods. Back to the point for Ambrose. Ambrose, cross ice, Dubois. Good pass. Now down low. Murphy, back for Ambrose. Ambrose with a shot on goal. Corrine Schroeder, a brick wall so far as they kill this penalty.
The end result of this is some good offensive zone and some eyes up time for Montreal as they're able to get into their structure, throw a puck to the front of the net. It was a pretty clear line for Schroeder to see the puck. Not a ton of traffic as Montreal tried to get in on the screen and got it late, but it all started with a really good carry back in the neutral zone by Montreal to get New York a little bit out of sorts and allowed Montreal to attack the line with speed.
Another D-zone face-off win for New York on the kill. They feed the point out of Taven, across for Laskova. Laskova with a chance. Gloved and held by Schroeder.
So you've had 4 chances by Montreal, and in all of them, what's the common theme? Schroeder holding on to a rebound, so there's no second and third kicks at the can. This one she had a really clean look at, didn't even have to go down for it. Puts it in the glove, and boy, does that ease wear and tear on your defenseman.
Claire Dalton wins the draw back now to Laskova. Laskova sends it across the ice for Taven. Taven will get it back at the point. She'll play catch with O'Neill. O'Neill walking in, takes a shot, rebound chance in front. They jam away at it, and it comes back. Now Laskova with a blast off the glass. Back up top for Laskova. Tries another shot, blocked on the way. Puck is loose in the slot. Picked up by O'Neill, and she just fired it high. Lastova going across for Tabin. Goes around the net for Marchment. Marchment tried the short side. And a body in front sends it the other way for New York. It's 2-on-2. Downey, Landry. Saulnier with her out of the box. A chance for New York, but an intercepted pass by Lastova. LaFleur will flip it in, and she'll go for a change. Under 3 to play here in the opening frame. A goal for Montreal off the stick of Marie-Philippe Poulin. A goal for New York off the stick of Jesse Eldridge. New York holds the zone. Daou will collect and ring it around the boards.
Montreal doesn't score, but they get a little momentum out of the power play.
It's a 2-on-1 if they hurry. Here comes Montreal, and a great defensive play. Oh, and another chance right in front, sealed off by Schroeder. Another one, got through traffic.
Taylor Baker, 4 and green, has been terrific for New York defensively.
Absolutely.
3 or 4 really good plays.
Now here comes LaBelle. Claire Dalton trying to win the puck battle along the boards. Montreal able to settle it down as Daou flips it into the neutral zone. Cut off by New York. They're in onside. Baker with a chance. Fought off. Another chance as she's way out of her crease. And Julie somehow able to keep that puck out. 2-on-1 the other way. Here we go. Vanashova. Vanashova with a drive. Puck is still loose, but Schroeder makes a save. End-to-end action here late in the first.
Hey, like we talked about out of that power play, Montreal has gotten a little jam in their game, and they are starting to feel it now.
New York with numbers if they hurry again. Carpenter with a turnover as Poulin will play it the other direction. Bujo makes a move, lost the puck on the way. This is what we're talking about. With a best-on-best league, you're going to see chances almost every shift. Emma Woods lost it in her skate, but New York able to collect. Ella Shelton down the near side. Decides to take it around the net. Looks for a lane and reverses to Woods. Now Woods goes down low. Gerard with it. Feeds the point, and JB Bourbonnais. Down low for Abby Rock. Spins off a body and gets it back. Abby Rock hands it over to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais takes a shot, and it was blocked on the way by Ambrose.
Another player who's been noticeable in this game is a 23 in white, and that's Ambrose. What'd you call that color?
Sand?
There you go.
Beige?
No, it's Long Island, so sand works.
Jillian Dempsey lost in her skates. The horn sounds on an incredible first period. Both teams with good chances. A 5-on-3 that New York was able to kill off. What are your thoughts, Starman?
You know, it's interesting. Howie Draper, the coach of New York, talked about his team needs to defend a little bit harder, but it's a hard sell when you've got so many good offensive players. And you saw a little bit of that in the first period. They got caught a couple times with defensemen coming down and pinching. Some deep dives by their D coming off the line. And you saw a transition from Montreal going the other way. I would think that's something he wants to clean up in period 2.
We've got quite the game shaping up with Billie Jean King and Brian Trottier in attendance. We'll be right back with our first intermission report.
We are back. We are tied at 1, and we are joined by Marie-Philippe Poulin. It's a pleasure to have her on the broadcast. And you've scored a goal in period number 1, so good start for you. Your thoughts on the first period?
Yeah, I think our first couple shifts was not our best. I think we're all aware of that, but it was about us responding and put some pucks on the net, and that's what we did. Obviously, they have a great goalie. She showed it game in game, and for us, we're going to have to put more pucks and more traffic.
Through the first couple of games, what have you noticed in terms of trends within the league and the way teams are playing?
It is physical, that's for sure. And I think it's so fun. That's what we've been wanting. It's fast, physical, and it's competitive. Obviously, we all played together against each other for many years, but now we have a respective team. We get to create our own culture and our own side, so obviously it gets competitive, and it's really fun.
After a wild first period that went up and down, what do you think Montreal wants to do in period number 2?
Yeah, I think keeping the pressure on them. They have great D as well, great forwards, but for us, we got to put the puck deep and create some offensive plays there and go from there.
Thanks for joining us, and good luck in period number 2.
Thank you so much.
We're tied up at 1 here. When we come back, we'll take a look back at some history made in Minnesota last weekend. Welcome back to UBS Arena on Long Island, where we've got a tied game between Montreal and New York, both of their third games of the season. Let's take a look at the PWHL's inaugural 3 stars of the week. 2 of the 3 are playing here tonight for New York.
Oh, and I certainly know that hat trick played real well in Minnesota, as the state of hockey and the Twin Cities are really abuzz with the Minnesota franchise and the early success that they've had in the state of hockey. Alex Carpenter and Corinne Schroeder have been really good in their first couple of games, and as we talked about earlier in the telecast, Alex Carpenter, I think, is going to be a player to watch as this season goes on. Just a really exciting, smart, heads-up player.
Already with a point tonight, giving her at least 1 point in all 3 games to this point. Of course, as you mentioned, the first star going to Minnesota's Grace Zumwinkle, who also made history with the first ever PWHL hat trick against Montreal on Saturday. Here are Clay Matvick and Alexis Pearson with a recap.
Clay Matvick and Alexis Pearson back here at St. Paul, where Minnesota hockey history was made. The home opener for the new franchise in Minnesota. In the PWHL, the fans are going to show up for this team. Minnesota wins its home opener 3-0, and what a show.
Well, it was so much fun to be a part of this today, to see the fans fill the seats, celebrate the 3 goals Minnesota scored, and then, of course, the celebration at the end of the game. It's been a week of first. Excited to see that Minnesota added to that as well today in their performance.
Maddie Rooney was a great story between the pipes. Minnesota native got the shutout today, but she was upstaged in a way by Minnesota native in her own right. Grace Zumwinkle got a hat trick in the home opener.
It's not too often a shutout is the second story that we tell, but Grace Zumwinkle was so tremendous here today, scoring 3 goals, getting the first hat trick in PWHL history. And she got the scoring started for Minnesota during a period where Minnesota was not the better team. It was a huge turning point in the game. She now has 4 goals on the season after getting a goal back in Boston, and then 3 here today. She is going to be a force to be reckoned with here for this team in Minnesota.
After that big day, leading the league in goals scored. There you see the numbers, her final stats. Montreal, they dropped to 1-1. They got great goaltending from Debian 2 today. I mean, kept her team in the game, but Minnesota just too much ultimately.
Despite being shut out 3-0 in this game, Montreal, there's a lot of things they can take away from this game and use moving forward. They had the head in shots. They had the head in scoring chances. They weren't able to ever capitalize on the power play, which was a big downfall for them in this one that ended up being such a tight game. But they did a lot of things well, and like you said, they got great goaltending in between the pipes, so looking to see them bounce back in their next one.
Minnesota hockey history, PWHL history made here today, and Grace Zumwinkle was at the center of it all. She had a hat trick as Minnesota wins its home opener 3-0. For Alexis, I'm Clay. So long.
When we come back, we'll break down the first period from New York, tied at 1, thanks to Marie-Philippe Poulin. For those of you who are new to this awesome new league, what is the PWHL? Well, they have their own original 6 across North America, 157 of the world's best players representing 12 different countries. We've got a few different countries represented here tonight even. 72 total games this year. It's going to be a sprint to the finish line with 24 games for each team, 12 home, 12 and away, and at least 4 here at UBS Arena where we are tonight, the UBS Arena opener for Team New York. What a period it's been so far. I'm Jamie Hirsch alongside Dave Starman. Back and forth they went, but really impressive job by New York on the penalty kill. They had to kill off a 5-on-3.
They did, and it all started in their own zone with winning a draw early, and then they kind of went to work. And to me, the goaltender was really good in the 5-on-3, real good in the 5-on-4. That was a huge part of it. As you know, sometimes your goalie can be your best penalty killer. But I liked how well they played physically, really good stick detail too. And even though Montreal gained some momentum coming out of the power play, I thought New York's PK was really strong.
And speaking of really strong, let's take another look at the goal by Jessie Eldridge, her first in the PWHL, but she's been on that top line all season. It was only a matter of time.
I like how New York stretched the rink using the width of it, and then Aldridge was able to take advantage of a defenseman who blew a tire and went the rest of the way, put the burners on, and was able to convert. Here's the best player in the world, 29 in sand, and that is Marie-Philippe Poulin, who created some space, good pass to outside the dot, saved some room, went in the front of the net, put her stick down, and hit for Pater.
Aaron Ambrose on the assist there for Marie-Philippe Poulin. Let's take a look at the first period stats brought to you by Sport Check. Pretty evenly matched game so far. 11 shots from Montreal, 10 for New York. You know, Howie Draper's talked a lot about being disciplined. He told us earlier that if it were up to him, they'd be the team with the least penalty minutes at the end of the season. That's not really the case so far. They now have 20 penalty minutes. So too does Montreal. They're tied for the most penalties so far in the league.
Well, what did Marie-Philippe Poulin say to us between periods? The league has been really physical, and I think that's a good thing because physical play is an important part of hockey. It's about getting through people's hands, getting into people's shoulders, being able to ride somebody off a puck, being able to win a 50-50 battle on the wall. Both teams, I think, demonstrated that as period number 1 went on. Now, what Howie Draper did say to us this week, and I loved his line, we got to figure out how to play defense here. We got to figure out how to defend harder. And his point was really cool. He said, a lot of players on our team never had to defend that hard because they were always the really good offensive players everywhere they went. So it's going to be a hard sell, but it's going to be an important sell, and we will watch that as the New York squad continues on.
Yeah, practice is limited in this abbreviated schedule, but he did say we don't really work too much on offense. They do work on special teams, though, and that was on display on this penalty kill.
Absolutely. Here's what we're talking about with the 50-50 battles, good stick positioning by New York. I thought they did a really nice job here. They didn't give Montreal a whole lot of time. Shelton was great with the stick in terms of the way she defended. They didn't give Montreal a whole lot of room to play with. And once again, the goaltender, Schrader, was just terrific.
Maureen Schroeder, a shutout in her first start. She has now allowed a goal. So she's no longer perfect, but still has been absolutely stellar so far for New York. If you're going to allow a goal, I guess it might as well be one of the best players in the world. Take a look at some news and notes from around the league. We are 1 week into this brand new league known as the Professional Women's Hockey League. We mentioned Grace Zumwinkle with the first hat trick last Saturday. And how about doing it in front of 13,316 fans in attendance? I'm from Minnesota, and I'm so proud of the state of hockey for showing out last Saturday in record numbers. 22 goals, by the way, have been scored by 18 different players. You can add a couple more to that because now we've got both Jessie Eldridge and Marie-Philippe Poulin on the board for the first time in their PWHL careers.
Offense has been good. Goaltenders have been good. Schroeder, Julie, both with some real big saves. And as the period went on, what you notice about the goalies as they settled in, better rebound control. So they got the nerves out and settled into the game as it went along.
Second period underway and early ozone time for New York. Marie-Philippe Poulin, to nobody's surprise, on the ice to start this second period. Here's Jessie Eldridge carrying in for New York. Katie Tabin along the boards, comes over to Maureen Murphy. She'll try to play it out for Montreal, but only momentarily. Here comes Poulin streaking down the near side, trying a centering pass, and Maureen Murphy couldn't catch up to it. Good defensive play by Peyton Levis.
Murphy and Poulin building some chemistry here.
Taven goes down low, cut off by Eldridge, and Schroeder has to hang on.
She's made a couple of 10-bell saves. This game goes on. I really loved her on the penalty kill, and could stop here with a really nice aggressive challenge. This shot she forces wide with good positioning, holds on to this rebound. That rebound kicked back out, but not in a dangerous spot. Took a weird carry. This one holds on to nice and clean. She's been out on top of her crease and aggressive all game long.
Kristen O'Neill lining up on the dot for Montreal. We heard Poulin say she didn't really like their first few shifts to start the first period. See if Montreal can come out buzzing a bit more here in the second. The middle frame has also been a point of contention for New York. They allowed 2 goals to Toronto in the second period on Friday, and Howie Draper has said that's been a focus for his team. Here's a chance now for Montreal. Sails through the slot. New York comes away with it. Johanna Fallman. Send it up for Emma Woods. Picked off by O'Neill. Both teams looking to shake off a loss their last time out. Montreal shut out in that hat-trick game for Zumwinkle in Minnesota. And Montreal playing shorthanded today with both Laura Stacey and Anne-Sophie Bate out for precautionary reasons.
You never want to lose bodies. You certainly don't want to lose good ones in terms of players that can impact games. And you're right, Montreal a little short-handed in that area.
Shot from the point deflects wide. Here comes Jade Downey-Landry coming away with it. Sends it across for Saulnier. She'll flip it in and give chase. And Shuley out from her net to play it. Tells you she's feeling a little confident early on.
She's playing with a lot of moxie, that's for darn sure.
Icing the call as we come back the other way.
So you brought up the second period as a period that Howie Draper in New York want to clamp down on and clean up a little bit. If you look at teams' records through, goal-scoring records through periods, generally the second period is the period most goals are scored and or allowed, and then a lot of it has to do with the long change. So that is certainly a factor, especially early on, with a lot of second period goals.
Jamie Bourbonnais tried to send one toward the net, deflects up and out of play, and you can see Montreal has started by out-shooting New York 5-0. Canadian Tire is a proud founding partner of the PWHL, Canadian Tire Canada store, here to make life in Canada better.
So I did a hockey school when I was in my teens and early 20s. We traveled across Canada doing goalie schools, and I think that every city we went to, we needed a Canadian Tire in it, in case the bus broke down.
New York wins the draw in the O-zone. Ella Shelton trying to fight through a check. Stripped of the puck. Back comes Montreal. In with speed, it's Murphy with a shot on goal. Now Poulin tried to drive, that's blocked on the way. You can see Alex Carpenter looked to be a bit shaken up. I think she blocked that shot off the stick of Poulin. Bourbonnais comes away with it, sends it over to Carpenter, who looks to be okay as Eldridge will send it for Carpenter. Tried the short side, it wasn't there. Now Carpenter with it again, feeds the point for Fallman. Fallman over to Levis. Levis tried to center. Levis gets it back, spins off the body, sends it around the net. Just past the 3-minute mark of this middle frame. 1-1. New York tied for second in the standings with 3 points. Montreal right behind them, 2 points by way of an overtime win in their opener against Ottawa. Fighting for possession here, it's David sending it down low for Montreal. Now Norcross will play it over as New York sends it ahead.
It's a great chip in. Cross ice, great erase. Montreal handled it well, but it was a really nice deposit by New York.
And it's a foot race to get there. Ella Shelton tried to play it out of the zone, held in nicely by Dubois. And now Dubois from the circle. Lost the puck on the way. David able to hold it in for Montreal. Dubois delivers a check, hands it off to her teammate. Now feeds the point. Poulin tries to make a move around Norcross. And Norcross takes it away.
Another good play by her. I'm telling you, 2 or 3 plays tonight. She's been great.
Here comes New York. Polerard sealed off. Back comes Montreal. Claire Dalton will play it in and go for a change. She's one of the players, when I asked Coach Chevry who's jumped out to her, who's been a surprise, she mentioned Claire Dalton.
She's been really good. Real good. Good playmaker. Played her college hockey at Yale. Not too far from where we are, across the Long Island Sound.
Yeah, recent graduate, too. And now a chance for Abby Rock. Abby Rock makes a pass, and what a move! Stopped by Chuli. Emma Woods shakes her head, can't believe she couldn't score on that.
Great job by Abby Rock to create this. Woods goes to the net. We're going to have a penalty here. We're waiting for the call, but this is just a nice piece of offense by New York as they drive the net. And Abby Rock with a real creative play. It's going to be a penalty on Montreal. And New York generates some offense, draws a penalty, and they've had 2 really good rushes to the net.
Sarah Bujo, the guilty party. We'll take another look at it here.
There's the hook. Rock fights through it and gets to the front of the net for Woods.
First power play of the night for New York. 0 for 6 on the season. We'll see if they can strike on the man advantage here. Abby Rock will go down low for Saulnier. Saulnier feeds it back to Rock. They play catch. Saulnier looking for a lane, goes up high for Shelton. Back to Rock. Rock going cross ice for Carpenter. Carpenter takes a shot, gloved and held by Chuli.
So you've got Carpenter 25 on the left side, you've got Rock 11 on the right side. They're both on their wings, so no one-timer option. But when you've got 2 flankers that are both on their wings, what it allows them to do, especially 2 players like this, it allows them to come back up high when the puck comes to center point, get a pass, and drive downhill with speed and space to pick their spot on the goalie.
Abby Carpenter lining up once more. Alex Carpenter, I should say. Abby Rock right behind her. Carpenter wins it back for Shelton. Shelton over to Carpenter. Back for Shelton. Shelton across for Rock. Rock sends it down low for Saulnier. Back to Rock. Rock tried to find Carpenter on the back door and couldn't connect. Held in by New York. Carpenter once more.
So there was the drive down option. Montreal read it really well, forced Carpenter to move the puck.
Quick clear from Marie-Philippe Poulin in Montreal, and they'll go for a change.
It's a nice looking first unit for New York. They move the puck really well, got a couple of good looks, and as the season goes on with those 2 flankers, they should be able to find a lot of power play goals.
Hobson sends it in, Jaguar, and they're saying she's offside. Crowd doesn't like it, Dave.
No, they don't.
They never will, though.
No, they won't. And that's it was a little bit of a late call, but I do think it was the right one as Howie Draper looks on, and New York will start outside its zone. So a nice stretch pass, and they got the right idea, coming off a real good first unit with a lot of eyes up time. New York tries to up the pace with a good up-the-gut pass, and they almost find some daylight.
New York wins the draw back for Hobson. She'll send it across the ice for Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais sends it into the corner. Battle along the boards. Now rings it around for Woods. New York just missed holding the zone. Shorter comes out of her crease to play it behind her net. Jillian Dempsey, the penalty killer from Montreal, trying to create something shorthanded. Here comes Jaguar, settles it down for New York. She'll carry through the neutral zone. Now Jaguar. Tried to send it back for Woods. It was cut off by Daou. Jaguar had it stick to side. Now Emma Woods, up high. Back for Woods, and the shot sealed off by Chuli. They play on. 5 seconds to go on the power play. Ella Shelton hands it over to Bourbonnais in a drive that just goes wide. Emma Woods back up high for Shelton. Shelton over to Jaguar, and she takes a long drive that has to be gobbled up by Chuli. A bit of a goalie duel shaping up here in a tie game in New York. The PWHL is brought to you by Bread Financial, official inaugural partner of the PWHL. We're back here in New York. Back to 5-on-5, penalty over, so New York now 0 for 7 on the power play as we take a look at Coach Chevry from Montreal.
She said when she started coaching, she didn't realize coaching could be fun. She thought you always had to be serious, you always had to be intense, and it wasn't a smiles business. But when you look at her at different moments on the bench, there's the intensity right now. But she looks like she is having the time of her life, and what a delight to talk to her earlier this week as she shared a little bit about her coaching theory.
Emma Shelton unable to hold the zone for New York. Montreal comes back the other way. And, you know, Coach Chevry, just 36 years old, truly a trailblazer in her own right. The first woman to spend time as a guest coach of the National Hockey League. And you see her resume here. She's done just about everything. And now you can add that to it with a PWHL bench boss title.
She did a presentation for the coaches site, which is a site I've done some stuff for too. And she did a great presentation on her background. And she said something to me that sounded so much like things Jim Montgomery had said to me for years, and that is, we're always in the moment, and we're only thinking about what's next.
Bourbonnais a drive from the top of the slot, kicked out by Julie.
I can't tell you how many times Jim Montgomery said that to me when he was coaching at the University of Denver before taking his first head coaching job with the Dallas Stars. And it's interesting because Jacques Lemaire always talked about that when he coached the Devils. It's about the next shift. And I know it's a big coaching mantra, but when it comes to coaches, you're always thinking a shift ahead. You're thinking 2 shifts ahead. And it becomes compartmentalized. You're thinking in segments of how often can I get my best players on the ice? Who can I get them out against? Do I want to overmatch? Do I want to just let it flow? A lot going on the bench.
Face off won by New York off a skate, and here comes Montreal. Maureen Murphy, a 2-on-1. If she hurries, she drops, and a shot just over the net. Montreal battling for possession. It's Dubois back on the ice for Montreal now, as Maureen Murphy will feed the point. Held in nicely by Poulin.
You've seen Poulin in different roles here during the course of this game. On the power play, she plays on the back. She's obviously been up front towards the net a lot. With her experience and the way she sees the game, not only do you want to tap into her hockey skill, but you want to tap into her hockey IQ too. And the further she is from the net, the better perspective she has on where lanes are developing and where sticks are being presented. And I think it's a unique use of a really good player in a kind of a rover type role up front and a little bit towards the blue line.
Quick chance for Montreal. Looked like Schroeder got a piece of it as it goes wide. Now Laskova sends one toward the net, hit a couple bodies on the way. Zafuda will flip it in for New York, and Chuli hangs on. You know, the PWHL and CBC just did something I saw on social media where they interviewed a lot of the top players around the league and asked them, what traits would you like to have from different players? And basically everyone said Marie-Philippe Poulin's hockey IQ. Almost everyone.
I mean, it's really impressive. The way she thinks the game, she could play in any league in the world. I mean, she's as smart as the smartest players in any league you're going to watch. And I think 2 things. One is her ability to move the puck with purpose. And the other one is her ability to get herself into a spot where she knows that players with the puck can get it to her in open space where she can do something to further the possession.
Known widely as Captain Clutch because she is the captain for Team Canada. And in their 3 last Olympic gold medal games, she scored the game-winning goal in the gold medal round. Incredible.
Who's the kid from the Kings who played in all those Game 7s and had 1 million points?
Justin Williams, Mr. Game 7.
That's it. That's what I'm thinking of. It's like same kind of deal. Big game, big goals.
Doesn't get much better than Poulin. We get a whistle here down low.
The pace of the first 5 to 8 minutes of period number 2, very similar to the pace we saw in period number 1. Then the period settled in, and we're going to get a penalty here, and it's going to be on New York.
Another power play coming from Montreal.
As for shooting the puck, sorry, James, for shooting the puck out of play from the defensive zone. And Coach Draper and his group will be shorthanded once again.
One silver lining here, if you're a New York fan watching, is they are 8 for 9 on the penalty kill so far. We saw our first jailbreak, as they call it, the last time New York played when Emma Malte scored the first shorthanded goal to free her team out of the box.
So important to get a first win on a faceoff. You get a first win and a first clear, which they don't get. You can kill 20 seconds right away.
Montreal 0 for 2 so far on the night on the power play. 5 shots, though, so plenty of chances. Ambrose tried to go back door, and it was cut off. Now Poulin across for Ambrose. Ambrose goes to Murphy. Murphy walks up high, trades places with Ambrose, and feeds Poulin. Poulin down low. Poulin takes a shot, gobbled up by Schroeder. And the crowd will show its appreciation for their goalie.
It was a good high roll by Montreal up top to create some room, and Poulin's just looking. She's got a lane, trying to shoot for a stick with Dubois in front of the net. And you see Shell with a really good job of lifting the stick of Dubois in front to prevent that stick from making any kind of tip attempt on the puck.
Face-off win by Abby Rock, but Montreal gets it right back and feeds the point once more for Ambrose. Ambrose walks the line, looking for a lane, takes a shot, pad save, another chance, and oh, and it goes in! Good goal! There was chaos in front, but Montreal will score on the power play, and guess what? It's Dubois in her PWHL debut. A reserve player activated today because Montreal was shorthanded. We've said all game long, Dave, that she's been a difference maker.
Look at her just invest in front of the net. Like, that is the way you score goals on the power play. You get a little rebound going here, good shot through to the front, now you got chaos. So you got 3 going to the front of the net, hand, jam, bam, whack, schlemazel, the whole bit. She is just invested in there, hacking away at it. You played to hear the whistle. Dubois never heard one, and she just kept going. That's a really nice job by Montreal to get the student body to the net.
They took another look at it. Goal stands. Talk about opportunistic. Dubois making the absolute most of a short-term player agreement that she signed earlier today. As part of the new league rules, reserve players can have a chance to sign 2 different 10-day agreements. So that is the case. It's the first time we've seen it so far in the new league. She is making the most of her time on the ice. Hobson will try to play it out. Sealed off. And Montreal now with sustained zone time here back at 5-on-5. A chance for Dempsey right in front. And a good save by Schroeder.
Montreal getting a little jam out of the goal. Responses, the goals are the shifts after goals for and against. Really important, especially for the team that gets scored on. You want to be able to string 2 or 3 together quick.
Marchment right in front. What a chance. Puck still loose. And Dempsey just found on the open net. Incredible chance for Montreal to open up a 2-goal lead. They'll settle for a 1-goal lead. Off the stick of Dubois, it's 2-1 from New York.
We're back. It's 2-1 Montreal. Coach Draper, the one thing you want to do after a goal gets scored against is have a good response. What is it you want to see from your team the next few minutes to stem the tide?
I think we have to work a little harder around the puck to create options and communicate that those options are there. I think right now we're a little hesitant to jump to the space that we need to jump to. As a result, we're throwing pucks into Montreal's into their hands. I think we're doing ourselves a big disservice by not just sliding pucks to some safe spaces and supporting those spaces so we can generate some offense.
Thanks, Coach.
So we shall see how New York responds here.
So what he wants to see is a lot more of them playing safely outside the dot lanes instead of putting pucks in areas where Montreal can win a race, be first, and turn it around into transition quickly.
Dubois back on the ice. Big minutes for her in her PWHL debut. Why not? Mariah Keppel tried to go across ice for Poland, eventually gets it. Cut off nicely by New York. Here comes Alex Carpenter, racing in with speed. In all alone, takes it hard to the net, and a save. Another chance, short side. Chuli has been tough to beat tonight for New York. Trying to find the answers, Peyton Levis, another great save by Chuli. Now Eldridge tries to catch up to it, tried the short side, sealed off once more by Chuli. Held in by New York. They send it across for Zakuto as the crowd gets loud. Vanashova has it on her backhand, waiting for help, looking for a lane. And back comes New York. Carpenter springs Emma Woods in a great stretch pass. Emma Woods driving short side. Back to the point for Zafuto. Puck comes the other direction. It's Claire Dalton. Claire Dalton going cross ice, a quick shot. Traffic in front, puck is still loose. Back to the point. Corrine Schroeder getting back to her feet. Vlashkova. Koiarard trying to turn the tide, but it's cut off by Bujo. Bujo's shot hits a body on the way.
That was Taylor Baker who blocked that shot. She had a big defensive shift just now.
And she'll go to the bench to catch her breath after that big defensive shift.
So New York gets a couple of chances here, and they generate some offense, they generate some zone time. And first it starts with a real good play by Carpenter, who jumped the route, knowing where that puck was going, so she goes end to end. New York doesn't convert, but look at the offensive jam they get going to the net here. They're not being conservative. So they get the play to the front of the net, 1-2, they got a third one coming, 4. So they're bringing everybody to the house to try to convert on rebounds. It's just a good looking offensive couple of shifts for New York.
Face off one by Carpenter, back for Levis. Levis down low for Carpenter, tried to go back to her. Now behind the net, it's Levis.
New York's gonna be a fun team to watch as they continue to keep these defensemen so actively involved in the offensive play and play four below the tops of the circles.
Their first ever draft pick was defenseman Ella Shelton, who made history with the first ever goal in the PWHL, and a great Selly to boot.
Selly's important. What New York did in the last couple of shifts, being that it's the period with the long change, so they got a good offensive shift, they couldn't maintain it, but if you can make a team defend for 35, 40 seconds, wear them out, and then be able to change, you're setting that next line up for success. And that's what they were trying to do. They couldn't hold it in, but they had Montreal pinned in on a long shift, and they just couldn't finish it.
LaBelle wins the draw back for New York. It's Madison Packer fighting for possession. And here comes Montreal, a 2-on-1 chance. Dempsey's shot just goes wide. Back comes New York, 3-on-2, Norcross. Sends it across for Packer, she lost it in her skates. Ella Shelton settles it down back for Bourbonnais. LaBelle will play it ahead. And a long shot by Packer has to be held by Chuli.
Sometimes in a neutral zone, and smart players will realize this, you're in the neutral zone, you don't have numbers, you don't have speed, maybe you're trying to look for a line change, but you've got enough where you can get a puck to the goalie and force the goalie to hold on to it, which now gives you A, a line change, and B, a chance to set something up on a face-off with fresh players. So I don't ever think it's a bad idea to waste the puck to the goalie, hoping they hold on to it, so you can start over off a draw.
And we've seen Chuli decide to hold on to it rather than play it aside for her teammates several times. It speaks to that responsibility of the centerman on this Montreal team, and she trusts them clearly, but New York, to your point, getting a lot of ozone faceoffs.
They have turned it around. I mean, Montreal is really good in period number 1. New York has been better in period number 2 on the dot.
Glenn back on the ice for Montreal, plays it down low for Murphy. Murphy feeds the point to Ambrose, cut off by Orard. The puck comes all the way out to the red line. Under 6 to go here in the middle frame. A 2-1 lead thanks to Catherine Dubois. A reserve player that signed a 10-day short-term contract earlier today. Held in nicely by Montreal. Quick chance, and Schroeder shrugs it off and into the netting. Montreal on top, 2-1. Well, nothing beats watching your favorite team live. Get tickets to PWHL games to catch all of the action. You can visit the pwhl.com/tickets to secure your seats today. And one of the hometown heroes is going to be Alex Carpenter for sure.
Absolutely. She has been on display all night. Real good speed, great hands, creating, making plays. She's been good in the face-off dot. Jumped a couple of routes to make some big interceptions on passes. And you can see the great speed that she has.
One of the free agents that New York wanted to make sure to go out and get. They signed her to a 3-year deal, a star for Team USA, and a lot of players around the league think that she might be one of the best goal scorers in the game. Face-off won by Montreal, kicked aside by Schroeder.
In that respect, she is certainly a chip off the old block, because her dad, Bobby Carpenter, the former NHLer, he could score from anywhere, and he can score well.
Saulnier was taken down to the ice by Daou. I believe that's what's going to be the call here. Here it comes.
So it's going to be a call for interference once the puck goes past. If you've got space established, that's one thing, but that space changed. It went linear, and by staying in on the check and riding the player out there, that's the cause for the interference. So New York will once again get on the power play, and this is where a player like Carpenter could be really special, with the ability to win draws, and then the ability to use that left wing side and the space given to drive downhill and create chances.
Big opportunity for New York here to capitalize on the power play. Abby Rock sends it across for Shelton, and hers steered aside nicely by Chuli. Settled down by Carpenter. Carpenter driving down Broadway, tried the backhand. Chuli with the save. Second power play of the night for New York. New York has not scored on the power play this season, trying to change that right now. Ella Shelton sends one off the glass. And it's Carpenter from behind the net. Looking for a lane off her backhand, tried to feed the point, and Shelton, it comes out to the neutral zone. And New York will have to set up once more.
Now they've changed it up a little bit. Carpenter that time was on the right side, Rock on the left side, so now they're on their one-timer options as opposed to being on their wings.
Trying different looks. And the special teams are usually one of the last things to click when you're talking about a new team, new group. Short-handed chance there for Montreal.
I will tell you
Bujo was turned aside.
In these short seasons, the 24-game season, but in these short seasons, the power play becomes more and more important. As you just saw in the World Juniors, you look at what a great power play can do kind of in a short tournament. This is a hybrid version of a long season, short tournament dynamic, but the power play has got to be a factor as the season goes on because scoring 5-on-5 gets harder as teams start to know each other.
Hobson, hands off for Bourbonnais, stretch pass now to Woods. Emma Woods is in. Stops up, takes it back. Cross-ice feed for Hobson. Hobson back for Woods. Woods will hand off to Bourbonnais. Down low for Downey Landry. Downey Landry back for Hobson. Over to Woods. Emma Woods tried to center. And a good save by Chuli.
Well, Schroeder with a big save down at one end. As Montreal with a good push here towards the end of a long shift. Really nice save here, and then down the other end, Woods made a great play on the entry to delay and create some time and space, and then create a little bit of frenetic type situation in front of the net. New York goes to the net hard, and Chuli with another big stop, but she has just gotten better and stronger as the game's gone on.
And there was some surprise that Chuli got the start in net. Of course, Anne-Renee Desbiens, widely known as the best goalie in the game, had been the starter through 2 games for Montreal, but getting a rare night off. And Chuli has looked so solid in net.
I feel like if you played for Mark Johnson at the University of Wisconsin, you've got a chance to be the best goalie on the planet at any given moment with the way he builds those teams and the goalies that he's recruited.
And Renee Desbiens did play at Wisconsin, as you mentioned, for Mark Johnson. Won the Patty Kazmaier in 2017.
Oh, did Montreal just get away with too many players?
Here's Levis. Shot just high off the glass. Fallman tries to settle it down. Penalty is over for Montreal. They're back to full strength. Here comes Bujo. Battle along the boards, and New York comes away with it. Alex Carpenter tries to play it ahead, cut off at center ice. And LaFour giving a little shove to Kayla Vespa. Good chance, LaFour. Centering pass, just missed Poulin. Poulin now from the top. Blocked on the way. Leah Lum catches up to it. Kennedy Marchment centers for Poulin. Poulin driving down the far side. Gets it back. And now feeds the point for Lum. Back to Poulin. Poulin rings it around the boards. Vanashova off her backhand. Centers to the top of the slot and a chance that went just wide. Leah Lum. Now Murphy will feed the point. Good sustained ozone pressure for Montreal. Just under 90 seconds to go here in the middle frame. It's Vanashova trying to make something happen late in the period. Erin Ambrose with a drive. Traffic in front. Puck is still loose right in the slot and eventually finds the corner. Kristen O'Neill keeping things alive for Montreal. Now Ambrose back to O'Neill. Tried to feed Ambrose. Too much on the pass. Montreal goes for a change, still in the offensive zone. We're in the final minute of the second period in a 2-1 game here at UBS Arena.
And New York needed to pop the pressure key right there too. They were out of gas.
Cut off by Emma Woods. Takes it hard to the net and just goes wide, but we're going to get a penalty.
So New York gets pinned in their own zone. They quickly turn one around. Like I said, they were running on fumes, and they managed to get one down the ice and draw a penalty in the process. It's amazing. I think 3 of the penalties in the game have been just driving the net and causing an opposing player to take a penalty on you. There's another one for Montreal is they'll be shorthanded with 44. So it's a momentum time or a momentum swing time of the period. Real important here for New York with an ability to change the complexion of the game prior to the end of the period.
44 ticks on the clock before the horn will sound on the middle frame. New York wins the faceoff. Ella Shelton sends it back to Carpenter. The crowd cheering on its New York hockey team. Carpenter up high for Shelton. Goes across for Rock. Just missed. Been a miscommunication there between those two. And back in comes New York. Carpenter driving along the boards, looking for a lane. Circles the net, sends it up high for Shelton. Shelton's shot, pad save, Julie. Carpenter keeping it alive for New York. Final 10 seconds here, Abby Rock. The crowd willing her to shoot. Rock with a shot that just missed. The horn sounds and we remain at 2-1 through 2.
It was a period where I thought Montreal won more races, played a little bit of a heavier game down low and forcing some turnovers, and were able to control the pace of the game. New York got some chances in spurts, but from a possession standpoint, I thought Montreal had a really good period. They looked really comfortable with the pace of the game.
Well, it's been a back and forth game so far, 2-1 right now through 2. We'll be back with a special look and an incredible few weeks for Team New York.
Welcome back. It is 2-1 Montreal. Jesse Eldridge from New York joins us and scored a goal early on in the game. And after a frenetic first period, what were your thoughts on period number 2?
I think we were a little sloppy. I think we got some things we need to figure out. I think we can be a good team when we're all rolling together, so we're going to get back to that here in the third.
We were just talking up here about the possession time. But New York, I thought, had chances in spurts, and Montreal had a little bit more of the possession. Is there a way to change the pace to break Montreal's possession?
Yeah, I think we know they got a lot of good players over there, and they're connecting well tonight. So I think we got to push back at that a little. Not be happy with the one-time chances, but kind of use that possession to our advantage.
And talking to your coach during the period, he mentioned putting pucks into safer areas. Is that a concern for you in terms of where to place pucks and playing outside the dot lanes?
Yeah, I don't think a concern. I just think something we got to keep an eye on, and we're going to try to get some more traffic here, some more shots on net.
Thanks for joining us, and good luck in period number 3.
Thank you.
Well, it's been an incredible few weeks for all the teams in the PWHL. We'll show you what New York has been up to off the ice.
Pleasure to have you all today. Skating on our ice. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Please give a warm Rockefeller Center welcome to PWHL New York.
And now I'd like to welcome head coach Howie Draper to make the announcement of who the first ever team captain for PWHL New York is and what is behind the decision.
When it comes to leaders, we've got a lot of great leaders. And when I think about leadership, it's not necessarily what you have that makes you a good leader. It's what you give. And that's Micah Zandy Hart, your new captain.
Micah, come on down. Congratulations. What an incredible honor. The first ever captain of PWHL New York. What does this mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot to me, and I think especially because I look at these girls beside me and I've seen the work they put in over the last month in training camp, and we've got our first game coming up, and we've got a great group here of players, but also of people, so I'm really proud to be a part of it.
We're going up. Hello, New York.
What an experience for these players. This was yesterday when the team visited the Empire State Building. And for those of you who live in the New York area, you saw the Empire State Building was lit up in white and teal last night to celebrate tonight's UBS Arena home opener for Team New York. You know, we talked to Howie Draper, and he said the attention has been phenomenal. Coming from Edmonton, he wasn't expecting much, but he said he's been blown away by the media attention, the social media presence, and the fan attention. He said, I got to skate at Rockefeller Center where Buddy the Elf skated.
I gotta tell you, I lived in New York on and off for 30 plus years. I've never skated at Rockefeller Center. It looked pretty cool, but I love how the players and the coaches in the league have embraced this new opportunity. They have really ran with it. They've been incredibly accessible. They've been really good with it. They enjoy what's going on. And most of all, here's why this thing can succeed. The players are really good.
Yes.
The coaching staffs are good, but you've got 6 teams, as you brought up during the game. So you've got the elite
best
women's
on best.
players, and best on best tends to produce a lot of good hockey.
Yeah, and you mentioned elite coaching. How about Corey Chevry? Look no further than there when you're talking about a woman who brings a variety of hockey experiences with her behind the bench. At just 36 years old, she's been an assistant with Team Canada, spent some time with the Arizona Coyotes, and most recently was a guest coach with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Before she set off for Montreal, Mike Sullivan gave her a special parting gift.
Okay, gang, so the first part of the camp here is coming to its end. You guys have noticed Corey has been on the ice with us. Where are you, Corey? So Corey is the first head coach for the professional women's team in Montreal, and she's going to be coaching that team this year. So we just want to acknowledge Corey and say congrats to her. We've got Corey, we've got a Penguins autographed jersey for you that we thought maybe you could hang in your office when you get to Montreal. Come on up and grab it. We appreciate your help here at camp. She's going to be here for a couple of more days, but I just wanted to acknowledge Corey and her accomplishment for her new job. All right? Congrats.
Such a cool moment. Right now, a lot to smile about if you're Coach Chevry. Her team's up 2-1 after 2. We'll be right back.
Dear Hockey.
Dear Hockey.
Dear Hockey.
Today I would like to share my love,
My gratitude and my appreciation.
you have always been there for me.
And those who have come before me.
Side by side, we have had so many emotional moments.
Now memories that are ingrained into my forever.
You have helped me grow, learn, persevere.
You have believed in me,
Supported me,
and elevated me.
My 24/7.
My 365,
and now my future.
and now my future.
And now my future.
I'm excited about what comes next. I know they will be unbelievable, unimaginable, and the unexplainable. But I promise to be strong, powerful, and be an ambassador of all your good. You have only ever given, and now it is my turn to give back. I am here to amplify.
I'm here to unify.
I am here to exemplify.
Dreams for every little girl across the globe.
Hockey is for everyone.
All my love.
Forever.
Always.
It really gives us goosebumps to see just how much has happened so far in just 1 week of this new league's existence. The Professional Women's Hockey League is here to stay because we're seeing true best-on-best action, something that the women across the game have been clamoring for years. And here it is, a 2-1 game. Every game seems like it's been close.
They have been, and every game matters, and that's the key point about it. When you get a 24-game season, points matter the way you get it. And with the way that it's structured, with regulation wins being more important than overtime wins, it's really important that in 60 minutes you get things cleaned up. But this has been a pretty interesting game because early on in periods, the pace has been pretty good. Then teams have been settling into the periods, and it starts to slow down a little bit, and then you start to get some penalties, and you get some mistakes being made. The goalies tonight have been terrific, in my opinion. They've been the story of the game.
Yeah, they absolutely have been. Another story of the game is Marie-Philippe Poulin, kind of the unquestioned best player in the world right now, has her first goal in the PWHL. It came early in the first period to tie it at 1.
It was a real nice goal, too, just on a smart play as she helped create it offensively. Then she went to the net and got her chance, and then she's been buzzing all night long. Good speed, making plays, driving the net, creating some chaos. What was really interesting in period number 2, and I don't remember the player that had the puck, but and there you see the goal. There was a player at the puck, saw Poulin open, and deferred a grade A chance to give Poulin the puck. That's respect when you know that you want to defer to that kind of player for a chance.
Let's take a look at the second period stats brought to you by Ream Canada, and you'll see the lone goal coming off the stick of the first player to be activated off reserves. It's Catherine Dubois with her first of the season as she signed a 10-day short-term player agreement earlier today. In case you missed it off the top, Laura Stacey held out for precautionary reasons, and Montreal did not even travel Anne-Sophie Bataille, another one of their star offensive players who was the overtime hero in their inaugural game. So with one person's injury comes another's opportunity. That's what we like to say, and that's exactly what Dubois has done. Take advantage of that.
Now, talk about opportunity. New York will start this period on the power play. Face-off plays 5-on-4 from center ice are common. So keep an eye as to how New York lines up here and whether or not they put something in action here in terms of a quick pass back. I mean, there's a lot of eye contact going on to see whether or not something gets set up quick. Montreal scrambles it and prevents it.
Ella Shelton will send it up for Alex Carpenter. Carpenter tries to make a move, sticks with it, and Eldridge plays it over to Abby Rock. Rock back to the point for Shelton. Shelton now down low for Rock. Rock looking for a lane. It's Emma Woods in front of the net. Ella Shelton, and it deflects in off the stick of Emma Woods. Just like that, we're tied at 2. I think they're going to give it to Shelton. Looked like it deflected off something, but Shelton leads the celebration line.
A lot of times early on in a period when you come out on the power play, it can be a little bit flat. But New York was sharp right from the get-go. This is a wonderful read by Shelton. She knew she had traffic. She knew she had some screens set up. But more importantly, she knew she had a lane to the net. So she just corks it forward. And I do think it might have hit something in front. You heard a click. That might have hit one of the Montreal players. But I love the fact that she took a look. Eyes up, saw a lane, fired, and created a play where there really wasn't a whole lot there.
Either way, whoever they credit, it will go down as the first ever power play goal for New York. And it's a big one as we're tied at 2. There's Alex Carpenter looking to add to it. Fought off by Chuli. Puck is still loose. And another chance. Still loose in the slot. Jesse Eldridge had it on her stick, and it just went wide. A blast from the point, followed up by Rock.
Huge block by Poulin just before that to save a goal.
Poulin gets it now. Tries to play it ahead, but New York holds his own. This crowd is right back into it. Let's go New York. If you can't hear it at home, they're screaming it here. Jamie Bourbonnais plays it ahead. Back to full strength. Thanks to a power play goal.
New York's got a good one in Shelton. Good 200-foot defenseman, playing both ends. He's got some offensive jam, some defensive sandpaper in her game. Really nice player.
They are crediting it to Shelton. It'll be her second goal in 3 games. Let's take another look.
Shelton gets to the front. She's got a screen set up.
I think it hit the stick of Woods, but she would know.
You know what? I think it hit the defender in front of the net. I do. I think it hit Catherine Daou before it went in. You heard it. You heard a click before the puck went in. And with the way the goalie's glove reacted, Julie looked a little confused, but befuddled as the puck was coming to her like it had changed directions.
Well, it'll go down for now as Shelton's goal. Icing the call. Abby Rock gets the assist. Rock scored a goal last time out.
First time I saw Abby Rock skate, she was about 8 years old. Her dad was coaching Lake Superior State University. Her dad's a buddy of mine, Jim Rock. And she used to come out and skate around, and everybody would be like, she's going to be really good.
And she is.
Yep.
Maureen Murphy traveling short side, fought off by Schroeder. Puck comes out to the neutral zone.
Then there was a time that Lake State was down at the Joe Louis Arena. I can't remember if it was the GLI or if it was for the CCHA Final 5. And she made the trip, and same kind of deal. As soon as practice was getting over, she jumped out there and just wowed everybody.
Downey Landry just missed an outlet pass to Woods. Peyton Levis hurries up to it and collects for New York. She'll send it down low. Played ahead by LaFour. There's another PWHL game happening tonight, by the way. Toronto, who just beat New York their last time out, is in Minnesota, taking on the undefeated Minnesota team, who currently has a 1-0 lead.
Another big night of hockey in the Twin Cities, which is going to be the site of a lot of really good hockey coming up. The NCAA Frozen Four is there this year. The World Junior Championships are there next year. The NCHC Frozen Face-Off is there, 3rd week of March. Always big-time hockey.
They don't call it the state of hockey for nothing. Centering pass sorted nicely by Fallman. And in with speed. It looked like they were in offside. But we get a penalty. Oh no, they're just, the crowd doesn't like the call. That's what it is.
It was a good race. I do love this hybrid icing. I think it's one of the best things that's happened to our game in terms of a small rule. I love the fact that you can create some races out of it. And to me, from 15U and up, automatic icing should probably have seen its last days, and the hybrid should be everywhere.
Okay. Always looking for ways to make our game greater.
I think that's one, because I like the fact that it can create races. I like the fact you can spring a forward out, throw a home run pass, and have them go chase it down. I just think it stretches the rink, and that's a good thing.
New York trying to set something up here. Fresh off their first power play goal, Bourbonnais feeds Shelton again. Her drive goes wide.
Now she's hunting for it now. She can feel it.
Levis with a chance, fought off by Chuli. Bourbonnais takes it toward the blue line. She'll go for a lap. Tried to center, nobody home. Now Savannah Norcross collects. Sorted nicely by Montreal, and the puck comes all the way back to within the New York zone.
And a nice play by Leah Lum, by the way, Montreal in her own zone. Lost the glove, stayed with it, and made a pretty good ride out in the corner.
Jesse Eldridge Trying to stretch the ice. Taken away by Keppel, and here's Dubois. One of the goal scorers from Montreal. Murphy with her. Murphy's shot deflects up and off the glass. Gloved down by Rock. Just past the 4-minute mark of this final frame. Although here we are tied at 2 apiece. Montreal has already played extra hockey. Their first time out this season, an overtime win in Ottawa. Dubois carries ahead for Montreal. Had it taken away by Jesse Eldridge, and now Rock try to fight through a check. Such tight competition here in this new league. The crowd cheering for defense. Certainly plenty to cheer for on offense as well.
Like what New York is doing right now, they have really jammed up the neutral zone.
Here's LaFour going cross ice. David a chance and they score! Kennedy Marchment! Tic-tac-toe, it's a goal for Montreal.
And just as we say that, Montreal turns one around. New Yorkers doing a really good job jamming up. Then they got caught with a lot of players outside the dot line, 4 of them. And Montreal took the advantage into open ice and connected with 3 tic-tac-toe passes and a quick delivery to the front of the net. Don't give the goalie any time to get set up. Puck comes in front and Marchment just rips it home. But you saw in that long length replay how New York got drifting wide, way too many bodies outside the dot lane.
Great response by Montreal after allowing a power play goal in the first 30 seconds of this period. Bujo tried to fight for possession, had it taken away. Now here comes New York. LaBelle carries in, tried to feed Levis, and Banashova says no.
Montreal, real good gap there. They knew they had numbers back so they could stand up a little taller.
Bujo makes a move, drives down the center, and a save by Schroeder. Leah Lum gets crunched along the board by Jesse Eldridge. LaBelle sends it ahead. Eldridge is in all alone, tries to make a move toward the slot. Nicely sorted by Montreal. Back they come, Poulin. Poulin, and a nice little move in front. They score! Marie-Philippe Poulin on a beautiful passing play. Opens up a 2-goal lead for Montreal.
Well, Montreal's transition has just absolutely taken over the last couple of minutes. They got up ice quick, and they didn't even have numbers here, but it was just the skill of Poulin and Murphy who really had something going here tonight. And when the pass went to Murphy, you saw 2 players in teal go after the puck, and that left Poulin wide open. And that's never a good equation 5 feet from the net, as she is the best player on the women's side in the world. Really good job by Montreal to turn it quick, catch New York flat-footed, and New York makes a coverage mistake in front of the net.
Just 65 seconds between goals for Montreal has turned the tide of this game as Marie-Philippe Poulin now has 2 goals on the night. Another chance for Montreal that goes wide. And despite getting shut out in their last game against Minnesota, we know Montreal is a fast and skilled team offensively. Howie Draper said as much when we talked to him earlier.
He likes his offense, he likes their offense, and as we talked about, as the season goes on, this is where being able to defend better, being able to play better off the puck is going to make a huge difference in games.
Here's Marchment, the save by Schroeder. New York trying to settle things down defensively. It's moments like these that Howie Draper looks to his leadership group. He said that everyone does it a little differently, but the important thing is we need to have a consistent message to not get too escalated. Settle things down and focus on the next shift.
That's it, because here's the thing. You get one the next few minutes. Now it's a one-shot game, and third period of the game, if it's one shot, you like where you're standing. But the one thing that New York does have to do is they got to tighten the reins a little bit, because Montreal has dominated center ice and been able to drive middle, which has really been the key to their transition.
Ella Shelton with a big shove on Lagunière. Part of the physicality that we've come to love about this league. Here's Dubois, feeds and the save by Schroeder. Another good look for Montreal. Daou tries to send one toward the net. It was deflected on the way. And Dubois back on the ice. Already one goal in this game tonight.
Yeah, she has been an absolute force.
Safe to say they'll be using her for the length of that 10-day contract she served or signed. Schroeder plays it over to Shelton. Nearing the midway point of this final frame, New York trying to answer here. Jesse Ellis, top of the slot. Beautiful pass in front to Carpenter. Kicked out by Chuli. Here's LaFleur fighting through a check. Has it taken away by Baker. First two-goal lead of this game in what had been a very tight matchup to this point. Laskova will play it along the boards for Lum. Lum flips it off the glass and out to the neutral zone. Oh, March! What a hit there. Downey Landry goes hard to the ice, no call, and the crowd does not like it. Here comes Bujo with a chance. Blocked on the way by Fallman.
That was a big-time hit. That was a good hit.
Big hit.
Moshkova looked like Darius Kasparaitis on that hit, didn't she? Get the hip out, getting space. Nice hit.
Laskova, the pride of Czechia, represents them on the national stage, and a chance that goes over the top of the cage and off the glass.
By the way, the Czechs are on the rise on all fronts. Under 20, women's side, men's side. I mean, they have had a bit of a resurgence.
You're saying we should check them out?
Absolutely.
What a start to this period. First a power play goal, followed by two from Montreal. Back here on what was an icing call. New York trying to get out of its own zone. We've spent far too much time for Howie Draper's liking in the D zone as Ella Shelton is taken down. No call, and again, the crowd does not like it. Oh, we do have a call. Delayed penalty coming. There it is. Montreal to the box. We'll be right back for a New York power play. The PWHL is brought to you by Hyundai, made for those who drive hockey. What a period, Dave.
Well, we told you, if you like offense, pretty good league to watch. Shelton got it started early on the period on the power play for New York. Takes a good little low to high play, finds a lane, just puts it through and hit a stick on its way in. And it was 2-2, and then Montreal went to work. Parchment on him, finishing off a nice tic-tac-toe play on a 3-on-2. And then the great one in women's hockey, Marie-Philippe Poulin with a huge goal to give Montreal a 4-2 lead.
That's where we stand as New York will try to add another power play goal. 1 for 2 on the night. Scored just 26 seconds into this period on the power play, as you just saw.
And it's interesting, Montreal got everything they wanted on that win.
Here comes O'Neill, shorthanded, out. And nicely sorted by Shelton.
And they couldn't get the first clear, they got the second one. But really went nice setup play by Montreal on their own end, off the draw.
Look at O'Neill just hounding the puck. She'll go for a change, but has been instrumental in this kill so far. Under 90 seconds to go here on the power play as Jesse Eldridge gets taken down along the boards by Erin Ambrose. You can see her wincing in pain. Ouch.
Defense a big part of the game. You don't necessarily have to play it when you're shorthanded, but great stick lift here, 2 of them. No slash down. You slash down, it's a penalty. You come up from underneath, especially if you don't come in on the hands. It's a really good defensive play. That is just a really good fundamental hockey play. And New York avoids getting into a situation where they give up a shorty.
Ella Shelton, one of the best to play the position. It's why they drafted her with their first ever pick, 4th overall. And here she is, driving the power play. Already a goal tonight. Carpenter feeds Rock. Rock tries to get it through traffic. Right in front of the net, somehow stays out. And we get a whistle. Looks like New York may be the guilty party here.
Yeah, that's going to be Abby Rock for tripping. And it goes to 4-on-4. You never like one in the offensive zone. You certainly don't like it when you're on the power play to start with, trailing by 2. It's a pretty good setup as Carpenter moves the puck around. Rock puts one off the shin guards, followed it up with a pretty good play. Then as it goes to the wall here, you see Rock slash into the skates. And that's a good call.
Tripping will negate the New York power play, so we are at 4-on-4 for the next 58 seconds. Marie-Philippe Poulin, 2 goals tonight, wins the draw back for Lum. Sends it across for Lashkova. She sends one on net, deflected on the way. Lum with a drive, kicked out by Schroeder. Poulin. Now to Dubois, and another kick save. Dubois fighting along the boards. She's got a goal on the night as well.
Love that play by Poulin. Instead of just throwing it down low, which was the safe play, she found an open winger. It was a little bit of a high-risk pass, but she made it, and Montreal got a scoring chance, and that's what veteran leadership can do.
That hockey IQ we hear so much about with one of the greatest players in the world. Lum feeds it across for Laskova. Paddled aside. Dubois keeps it alive, feeds Lum at the point. Now Lum, cross-ice pass. Another great chance for Montreal, saved by Schroeder. 4-on-4, but it looked like a power play for Montreal the way they've been playing. Vanashova on the ice with speed, carries in for Montreal. Stops up, had it taken away by New York. Now Murphy out of the box, it's a power play for Montreal. Katie Tabin will scan the ice and skate it through the neutral zone herself. Flips it in off her backhand and gives chase. A centering pass and just missed the stick of Vanashova.
I would say Montreal's probably had 8 or 9 really good passes to the slot. Whether or not they've gotten converted the chances or not was one thing, but they're making the plays.
Ambrose looking for a lane, walks the line, sends it across for Poulin on hat-trick watch. Tabin up high for Ambrose. Ambrose tried one. Alex Carpenter blocked it. Rock is out of the box, and we're back to 5-on-5. Good battle along the boards in the corner. Neither side giving an inch. Finally comes out to Carpenter, and she'll skate it ahead for New York. The crowd willing its team back into this game.
If you're New York now, it's everything into the net, because tip screens, rebounds, greasy goals are going to be a part of the equation here, but don't leave your grade A's on the table. Any shot lane that's open, get it to the front, see if you can create a rebound, a couple of second and third looks at the front of the net.
Shelton tried to play it ahead, sorted out by Lagunière. Cut off by Eldridge. Tried to set it for Rock, and it wasn't there. Here comes Montreal once more. Marchment gets back her own pass. Now LaFour with a drive. Glove save by Schroeder. Montreal has found its offense after getting shut out last game. They've got a 4-2 lead with under 6 to go. Look at those hats. The official online shop of the PWHL is now open. Gear up for game day with jerseys and apparel for your favorite team. Visit shop.thepwhl.com to complete your game day fit. And I gotta say, Dave, I'm a little partial to this New York squad because of the teal. That color with the blue. I mean, these jerseys are fire.
The teal does look good. It's a really good look. And you know what? Sometimes you get the dark numbers on a colored jersey, it doesn't necessarily come out real clean, but they did a good job with these because those numbers do pop, even from a broadcast perspective.
They're my favorite jerseys. Not biased at all, of course.
Wait till the people in Minnesota find out you said
that.
Oh
boy, I'll be hearing it from the state of hockey. A nod to Prince in their choice of the color purple, I hear. Ella Shelton trying to get New York back into this game. Already a goal tonight. That one deflects off the glass, and right in front, there's danger. And Montreal able to sweep it aside. Just over 5 minutes to go. It's crunch time.
Sorry, David, two interesting things here. One is New York's defensemen have, at least one of them has been diving down, so it's been leaving one open or one alone up top. And Montreal has not been shy about stretching the rink and jumping behind the New York defense. So it's an interesting contrast of styles here as the last 4.5 minutes go through, because New York is going to want to play below the dots, and Montreal is pretty good at getting pucks out quick.
Jesse Eldridge gets the puck back. Peyton Levis off her backhand, just goes wide. Jesse Eldridge with a chance, and a good block by Laskova in front. Picked up by Levis. Levis circles around the net, tried the wraparound off her backhand, but it was sealed off by Chuli. Brooke Hobson settling things down in her own zone. She plays ahead, and LaBelle will go across for Fallman. Now Norcross streaking down the near side, takes a shot. Glove save by Sherry. We'll be right back as Chuli has been very good for Montreal in goal. The player of the game is brought to you by Canadian Tire. Yeah, that would be her right there, Marie-Philippe Poulin. Howie Draper saying you got to pay attention when she's on the ice.
She's certainly paying attention tonight. She has been terrific in a starring role and in a supporting role. There's goal number 1. Drives the net off a good pass, doesn't admire it. She follows it up. Same thing here. Makes a play, continues on, and finishes. Great lesson for young players. Don't admire your work. Go out and find a new play.
Back on the ice now is Poulin. We'll see if they opt to pull Schroeder here, if New York can get some good pressure. Carpenter picks up the loose puck and turns it up the other direction, sticked aside by Poulin.
One of the things you're always watching for if you're going to pull the goalie is deep possession and a fresh change. And sometimes that's where a lot of mistakes get made. You pull the goalie, you got a tired line out there, they can't keep it in, and it's over before it starts.
Maureen Murphy plays it ahead for Montreal.
So now it gets interesting. So you're down 2, you got 3.5. I mean, this is not too early in my opinion. They're thinking about it. The question is, do you call timeout now?
Right.
Get your top line rested and try to start it at this point here. It doesn't look like it, but there was a lot of discussion going on the bench. It's coming soon, but once again, it's going to come off of a timeout and fresh bodies.
Under 3.5 to play. It's go time for New York. New York with a 4-0 win on New Year's Day in Toronto, followed up by a 3-2 loss in their home opener on Friday. Montreal trying to bounce back from a loss of their own on Saturday, and that puck has to be played aside by Chuli. Deflects up and out of play.
So once again, you're starting with an offensive zone draw. Keep an eye on the goaltender, and so far,
still opting to keep her in net.
Schrader's in there, so you're down to 3 minutes. And this could be a scenario where, okay, is possession established off the draw, and then you make your move. She's starting to creep out just a little bit.
She is.
And the big guns are out there.
Carpenter on the dot. New York unable to win the draw. Looks like a good decision for now to keep Schroeder in net.
Eldridge got tied up, 9 and Teal. It was perfectly scrambled to her. She just couldn't get loose.
Jamie Bourbonnais skates it in for New York. Still no movement from the New York crease. Bourbonnais down low for Carpenter. Eldridge, she'll try one from the left circle. Paddled aside. Carpenter now feeds the point, and there goes the goalie. Corrine Schroeder to the bench. Extra attacker on for New York. It's an empty net, and Bujo will try to feed her teammate. Instead, it's Carpenter who picks up the loose puck. Here she comes. Off the boards, follows it up. And a save made by Chuli.
So watching the New York bench to see whether or not they call timeout. I think Howie Draper is looking for the whiteboard just in case. And
not yet.
Looking up at the time.
2:19. Oh, they did just use the timeout. Good call, Dave.
Yeah. It's the old coaching background. As soon as you start looking for the whiteboard, you know it's coming. And they will call timeout.
Well, PWHL action continues on Saturday when Ottawa faces off against Toronto at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Then the action continues later that day with Boston taking on Montreal at 3:30 Eastern. So what's the strategy here if you're New York?
Well, the face-off will be on the right side. Carpenter's been taking a lot of face-offs on the left side. Draw comes on the right side. Basically, in a 6-on-5, you put out your power play one and then one other player is kind of how that works. Now, if I'm New York, what I'm thinking is if you can do one of two things. One is you draw the puck behind you, the puck behind the dots on a scramble, and you release the winger on the wall who'll be on their off wing. They can come across up top, quick pickup, quick delivery to the net, and with two in between the hash marks, it's basically a bum rush to the front to see if you can grab a rebound. That's option one. Option two is you draw it straight back, go D to D, and have that weak side D then be able to dive down because she'll have some space. And then you push the center and the far winger to the net as well.
Just over 2 minutes to go here in the third period. The opener at UBS Arena for New York.
And Rock, the right-handed shot, will take the draw.
And she'll lose the draw to Kristen O'Neill. Puck up and out of play off the glass. Another O-zone face-off with the extra attacker for New York.
The face-off will be on the same side. And Rock has abdicated the dot and given it to Carpenter.
Carpenter wins it back for her team. Although a quick clear of the zone by Poulin. Toward the empty net, but just wide. New York picks it up. Uh-oh, danger here. Dubois. Send it around the boards as Ella Shelton tries to calm things down for New York.
Yep, that first pass has to be good or you see what happens.
Yeah. Under 2 to play. 4-2 lead for Montreal. Here's Carpenter, tries to make a move. Eldridge picks it up and just fires it wide. New York trying to maintain possession with the empty net. It trickles all the way down, and it'll go for icing.
And this is where if you're New York, you take your time getting back on the circle here to rest your players. Real nice first pass out. That creates some chances. They get a good middle lane drive, grab the lane with possession, and they didn't miss by much. This is a wonderful piece of work by Abby Rock to move this puck up. Carpenter dishes off, and Eldridge was close.
Had a lot of net looking at her. Just went up.
So the faceoff now goes to the left side where Carpenter's been strongest. Eldridge, a right-hand shot, moves over to the inside of the circle.
Face-off won by Carpenter. Held in by Bourbonnais. Slings it across for Shelton. Shelton rings it around the boards down low for Woods. Trying to dig it out. Under 90 seconds to play here in the third period. Can New York make some late magic happen? Taken away by Poulin. Hat trick on her stick. She fires it into the net. Marie-Philippe Poulin with a hat trick for Montreal makes it 5-2.
And it may be an empty netter, but that's not easy. That's a pretty good shot from distance under pressure. And what a game. What a way to finish a game where she was absolutely terrific. Gets pushed a little bit, drifts off wide, and bullseye to seal the deal. Tremendous game by a tremendous player, and from early on you could tell that she was pretty dialed in.
Grace Zumwinkle with the first hat trick in PWHL history against Marie-Philippe Poulin and Montreal.
She said, I'll see your three. And
Zumwinkle also finished the hat trick with an empty netter, by the way. What a game, what a player. How about that response by Montreal after being shut out on Saturday in Minneapolis? Minnesota, I should say.
They have been clean, they've been crisp, they've been sharp. Passing's been good, but to me, they have really done a nice job creating and taking advantage of open space.
New York trying for one last push here, down 3 with 30 seconds to play. Coming up for New York, they've got a season-long 4-game road trip starting Sunday at Minnesota, then at Montreal, at Boston, at Toronto. They're going to play 6 of their next 7 on the road.
Well, if you're going to go to Minnesota, obviously you're going to go to the XL Center. You might have to make a stop at Tom Reed's, right?
Have to.
Go visit over there. It's just part of the culture of that whole great area. Oh, listen, that's like a second home over there for me at this point.
I love it. We are going to talk to your hat trick scorer, Marie-Philippe Poulin, will join us again following the conclusion of this game in about 14 ticks of the clock. Montreal, by the way, still has yet to play at home. They've got their home opener coming up Saturday against Boston. Starting with 3 games on the road, an overtime win at Ottawa, a loss at Minnesota, and now a 5-2 victory thanks to a hat trick by the one and only Marie-Philippe Poulin. On a night where Corey Chevry was left with only a few options to fill out her lineup, they signed a reserve player. She scored. And of course, their superstar, Poulin, with a historic night here at UBS Arena.
You know, sometimes when you're shorthanded, you can be at your best because you got to be a little bit more dialed in, and it makes the bigger players even that much more important. But when you take a look at the goals that Poulin scored in this game, I mean, they're just really good, smart goals. It's a pass to create, and then it's a follow-up of the pass to be an option once again. And then the empty netter just sealed the deal as she won a puck on the half wall and drove it out past the blue line and up towards center and fired it home. So it's a good methodical win, I thought, for Montreal. They were up and down at bits and pieces during the game. And remember, Marie-Philippe Poulin told us early on, after the first period, they didn't like their start and they needed just to settle in. And I thought they did a really good job settling in as the game went along, and a great response to New York's power play goal to tie the game.
And how about Julie in net? Her first start in the PWHL. And Renee Desbiens expected to get the bulk of the workload in goal this season, but what a performance for her.
And we discussed earlier in the telecast about how she was the one that saw New York in the preseason game, so she at least had a beat on what they were about and a good mental picture of how they play, and that could have certainly worked to her advantage as the game went on.
Team New York will stick salute the crowd here at UBS Arena. A special night opening the Long Island chapter of this franchise's history. Brian Trottier dropping the puck. They'll hope to give the home crowd more to cheer about next time.
Great reaction by the crowd to the stick salute. New York's got a good team. They got a defense that can go. They got 2 tremendous players in Rock and Carpenter. They got speed, they got goaltending. I mean, this is a good team. And despite losing tonight, this is the kind of team where when you take a look at their skill and their speed, they can build. They got to clean up the defensive zone a little bit, but they can build.
That's what it's all about. Trying to make adjustments game by game, and a special moment happening right now as Dubois poses for a picture with one of her former teammates, LaBelle. Marie-Philippe Poulin about to head down the tunnel, but before she does, she's going to take her helmet off and join us here. So kind of her to take some time and catch up with us after a historic night for her. You see the flags out in full. A couple of Montreal fans making the trip, or maybe they live here and are happy to cheer on their hometown team here on Long Island. With that, we welcome in the hero, Marie-Philippe Poulin. Marie, what a game for you. You came in looking for that first goal of the season. You end up with 3 on the night. What worked so well for you tonight?
I think we stay together. Obviously, like they have a great team from defense to offense, but for us, we wanted to put some puck on the net, and we did, and we were able to capitalize on those rebounds.
You know, we talked after the first period, you talked about not having a good start, settling in and just getting to your game, and it looked like in the second period you settled in really nicely, and it looked like you felt more comfortable, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's going to be a process. This whole league, it's going to be competitive. Every game is going to matter, and just a matter of sticking together. Everybody's coming from different teams, so for us, we just got to stick together and play our game.
You've played 3 straight road games now to start this new PWHL chapter. What are you most looking forward to about going home for the opener on Saturday?
I cannot wait. Obviously, like you mentioned, we had 3 games on the road, but we cannot wait to get back to Montreal and have our home opener. It's going to be exciting. Get to play in front of our fans, our family and friends, so we cannot wait.
Incredible effort from you tonight. Dominant win for your team. Congratulations, and thanks so much for the time.
Thank you.
All right, final thoughts here on what ended up being a pretty lopsided victory for Montreal.
Well, it was a game that was nip and tuck for a while, and then Montreal pulled it through late in the game. When New York got that power play goal to tie it at 2-2, they really got a jolt out of it. But when you take a look at Montreal and the 2 goals they scored in period number 3, they both had a common thread, and that was they were really able to take advantage of the middle of the ice and use their speed and skill.
Once again, our final score, Montreal 5, New York 2. PWHL action continues on Saturday with that home opener for Montreal. For Dave Starman and our entire crew, I'm Jamie Hirsch saying so long from now from New York.